Dear students, welcome to Mayura Virtual Academy. In this session, we'll be learning about how to send the data in the backward direction. That is, in the previous session, we have learned how to send the data from main activity to the second activity and click of a button. In this session, we'll learn how to send the data from second activity to the main activity. That is, in the backward direction. So before we go ahead with that, hope we are ready with the second UI screen design. It is very simple. It has three views, that is one text view and one edit text and one button. So whenever the user clicks on the data, that is this button, navigate to the next activity. Sorry, we can change that string to, and here is the design for that. And for text, yeah, we have changed it. Let us compile that. So whenever the user gives some input data and clicks this button, the user will be navigated to the main activity and will be displaying the data in the title of this activity. So now let us come to main activity class first. In order to achieve this, we need to have two things, that is the request code and the result code. So we'll define that constants, that is public static final int request code equal to some 100. Similarly, we can define result code, public static final int the result code can be 101. So instead of using start activity, we can use start activity for result, start activity for result. It can take two parameters, that is intent and the request code. We'll be using intent is navigate to the next activity and the request code, and we can use, and whenever you click on the button, it will be calling onClick method, and this start activity for result will be launching the second activity. So in this case, that is the user clicks, here we need to get the data from edit text. So let us define one edit text, that is edit back data, and we can initialize the data in the onCreate method. It is mBack data. We can typecast it to edit text, find view by ID, and we can see what is the ID that we have assigned for this, that is back data r.id back data, and we need to define the button, that is private, sorry, not bundle, it is button send data back, and we can initialize that in onCreate method, send data back, typecast it to button, initialize using the button with the ID r.id what is the ID, navigate back, and we can register the button for onClick listeners and send data back dot set onClick listener. Here we can use new onClick listener, and whenever the user clicks on that button, it will be calling onClick method. So for time being, we can comment this part or we can remove it off. Here will be calling intent send data back intent is equal to new intent. So we can create new intent object. Here there is no requirement of mentioning the different say in the previous the main activity we have mentioned parameters, that is the context and where it should navigate. Since we are sending the data back from second activity to the main activity, so no need of mentioning any parameters into the intent object. So send data back, we can put extra, and the same the key we can use, that is main activity dot name, or we can define our own keys. For time being we can use the same thing, and we can put we need to get the data from mbag data dot get text dot to string. Once we have given the data to the intent object using the put extra method, we can call set result method, which will be taking the intent object and the result code. So result code we can access from main activity result code, and we can pass this intent object, that is send data back intent. Once this is done, we can close this activity by calling finish method. So this is how we send the data back from second activity to the main activity. We'll be creating one intent object, and we'll be using the put extra method. Using the key value pair, we'll pass the data, and we'll be using the set result method, which takes result code and the intent, and we can close the application or this activity using finish method. In the main activity, whenever the user clicks on that button, this on activity for result method will be invoked. So whenever the user clicks on second activity on this button, it will be navigating to the main activity, and it will be invoking an activity for result method. And before we make the changes, we need to check for request code and the result code. Don't make any changes to the super class. So we can check if request code equal to whatever the request code that we have received, and result code equal to whatever the result code that we are getting from in this overridden method. If both the things matches, then we can confirm that we have received some data from second activity into the main activity class. Because whenever you are navigating from main activity to the second activity, we are sending the request code. And the same thing, once we are sending the data back from second activity to the main activity, we will be sending the result code. If both the things matches, then we can confirm that some data has been sent back from second activity to the main activity. So now we can get back the data using this bundle object string set data received is equal to data, that is whatever the intent object that we have received, dot get extras dot get extras dot get string, since we are sending back the data. And what is the key that we have used? That is name. If we can put one more null check, if null is not equal to data received, this string we can append it to the title of the main activity. So let us see whether we have initialized the title. So we have not initialized it, so we can create one text view for the title, title title, and for main activity this is the title and ID is change name. So we can initialize that title, typecast it to text view. We can get back that object using find view by ID r.id dot change name. So once we have initialized it, and if the object that whatever the string that we are receiving, if it is not null, title dot set text, we can mention data received from second activity is data received. So this is how we get back the data, and we match the request code with the result code, and we can set the text. So let us compile the code and validate it. And here is the output. So now let us just navigate from main activity to the next activity, that is second activity. So here we can give some data as say Mayura Virtual Academy. So whenever you click on this button, click me to send the data back. This the second activity will be closed and will be getting coming back to the main activity. So that is the data received from second activities Mayura Virtual, and Academy is the script. It is clipped because we have hard coded the title height to 100 TB. So however we have received the data back, that is Mayura, that that the user has given in the second activity. And this is how we retrieve the data from retrieve the data back, that is from second activity to the main activity. So in a nutshell, in this session we have learnt about how to navigate between the activities, that is from activity A, that is main activity, to the second activity, how to send the data from main activity to the second activity using the put extra method, and the other scenario is how to send the data in the backward direction, that is from second activity to the main activity using the request code and result code. If the request code and result code matches, and we have it confirms that we have received some data in the backward direction, and for sending the data in the backward direction we'll be using the set activity for the result, and while sending the data back we'll be using set result, which takes the result code and will be passing the intent object. And whenever the data is retrieved in the backward direction, it will be invoking an activity for result method, where we can compare the request code and result code that we have sent through the intent objects. If it matches, it confirms that we have received some data and we can perform the business operations that our requirement needs. And this is all about how to navigate between the activities. Hope you have a better understanding about that, and you can play around this. Thank you. Have a great day.